Hi there friends, I'm back with another video, and in this tutorial we're going to build a comments system for a Next.js and a Sanity blog. So here we have a form where a visitor can submit a comment to our blog post. As you can see, this form requires a name, email, which will not be published, and of course a comment. Down below you can see all the comments for this specific blog post listed by newest. Of course we can click here and sort them by oldest comments. That being said, everything is rendered on a server, since this is a server-side rendered component, so we do not use any states here. Let's now go back here and add a comment. Hey, this is a great blog post. Now we can submit the comment with the loading state, as you can see, and here we can go to our Sanity, click here and check for the comments. As you can see, here is our comment, which is referenced to this post. Now, if I go back here and reload the page, we should be able to see here the comment we created. So, let's jump into coding. So, first let's see our project structure. As you know, I'm using Next.js and Sanity, which is embedded into our application. So here in admin, this is where Sanity is embedded, and in client folder here is all the Next.js related side application. So let's go to browser, and here under the /studio we have our Sanity CMS, and over here is our blog post. Alright, first what we need to do is go to Sanity folder here and create a new schema. So let's click here. And as you can see, I already have post schema and the tag schema. And now I need to create a new file called comment.ts. Okay, inside of comment, we can export const comment, which is equal, yes, to define type. And this is imported from Sanity. Alright, first we're going to create a name. So comment, title, it is equal to comment, type is document, yes, and inside we have fields. Fields is an array, and let me just close this. Alright, and now in our fields array we're going to create an object. So first, what we need. First, we're going to have a name field. So name and title is equal to name, and the type is string. Alright, second field is going to be email field. So title is email, type is string, and that's all for now. Third field is actually going to be a comment, so title for the Sanity Studio, it will be a comment, and the type here is text. And of course, at the end, we're going to need to add a post, title post, and this field type will be reference. So what we need to reference? Well, we need to reference a post. Okay, let me save this and go back to our studio and reload the page. Of course, we don't have anything here because we need to import this schema over here. So comment from schemas. Alright, let's save, let's go here, and as you can see, we have new collection here in our Sanity Studio. Alright, but now we have a problem here. So as you can see, we are admins, and as admins we are able to create a new and edit new comments here. So what we need to do, if we want to do this properly, we need to set these fields to read only. So the admins can only read these comments and not edit them. Alright, now if we save, you will see we do not have ability to edit comments. All right, now let's go back to our code, and next step is to create a form for adding comments. Let me go here and client, comments, create new file called add comment.tsx. All right, let's create component. Inside this component, what I want to do, well, basically I want to use a package called React hook form. This is the one, and I want to go here to npm and let's install it. Let's open up a new terminal, paste it here, wait a couple of seconds, and yep, that's it. Now let's go here and use this code. So I'm going to copy this form inside this div, paste it, and of course copy this hook, and of course imports. We don't need React. All right, perfect. Now let's save this and go to our page. So client post slug page. Okay, and here is our page. In case you haven't watched it, I have a video on my YouTube channel where I created this blog from scratch. So if you're interested, link will be in the description. But basically here we have a query where we get our post from Sanity. So here this is all server-side component. We have a metadata, okay, and here we are getting it and rendering it over there. So this is a portable text where I get the data, so basically all of this, and below that I want to add a comment section. So under there I'm going to import this component, add comment. Okay, let me reload the page. Oh, yep, sorry, let's go back here. So since this is we're going to have our input fields, this is going to be a use client component. If I save, everything now should be working, and here is our basic component. So as you can see, we here definitely need to add some styles. Now let's go back here, and first let me add a class name, some margin top. All right, inside let's create leave a comment, and I'm going to add a span here, which will be, so I can add a role image, and inside I'm going to go here to Emojipedia speech, and I'm going to use this balloon emoji. So here, and this is fine for now. Let me see. Okay. Now let's add some classes to our form. So first things first, this is going to be a flex and flex column. And I'm going to add a border here, some shadow small, rounded. All right, some padding top, padding bottom also, and some margin bottom. Okay, let's see now. Okay, this looks better. In light mode it's fine, but in dark mode I want to have something like this. So let me just click here, and let's say in dark mode, I want border to be purple 950. Okay, this is much better. All right, now let's fix this. So I'm using this use form from React Hook Forms, and I love this package. This is not a tutorial about it, so make sure to check that out if you haven't used it before. But basically, we have this. So in our case, we want to have a name here. Let me just delete it here. Okay, so this will be a name required, and for the errors, let's type name is required. All right. Now here we're going to have an email field, which will be also required, so true. And in our pattern here, I'm going to copy a pattern for email, for checking validity of email. So anyway, this will be on my GitHub, so you can copy it from there. All right, for the errors.email, let's say please enter a valid email address. That's fine. Here we're going to have, yes, text area. So comment for validation is required, definitely, but I want to add a min length to be 2 characters. So now for the arrows, I can copy this field, paste it over there, and this is for comment. So here, and for the message, let's say minimum 2 characters. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, still nothing because we need to add some labels. So let me say label, we don't need this now. So label name, this I want to have a class name text extra small, and of course some red color, so text red, let's say 600. Okay, we can copy this class name and paste it on every arrow, so here, and of course for the name, for the email, sorry, here. Okay, now let's add some class names to our input fields. So here, let's say margin bottom, some minor padding, background color I want to be amber 100, since in white mode I have a background color of amber in my layout. Sorry, here, as you can see. So this is for the light mode and this is for the dark. Okay, so for the dark one, I want to have BG slate a bit brighter, so I think this is fine. Yep, let's check it. Okay, perfect. Now I can copy this and go to other inputs. So here, and text area here. Okay. All right, I think this looks fine. But one thing is missing, labels. So over here, label for email. And here, let's add a span with the class name of text extra small, And here going to write text, your email will not be published. All right, and the last label goes here. And this will be a message or comment in this case. Okay, let's save it. And nice, I think this looks very nice. Okay, one more thing, our input. It's type submit, this is fine for now. Let's add the class name, cursor pointer. I want some background purple 500, text white. It should be rounded with a padding, and on hover I want to have a BG purple also, but 600. Okay, nice. This looks nice. All right, now what we need to do here? Well, we need to create an onSubmit handler and append it over there. So let's do that. Now let's go here and create a new function called onSubmit. This will be an async function which will receive a parameter data, and for now data will be type any. Inside the data we can destructure it, and basically the data is here, every field in this form, so we know that we have a name, we have an email, and we have a comment. Okay, and now how to actually send our data to the server? Well, we have two possible approaches here. One is with next server actions, and the second one is with routes, API routes. I personally prefer routes, so I'm going to create a new folder here called API. Then again, new folder, comment, and inside a new file called route.ts. So this will be our route for creating comments. Now let me go back here to my browser, and we can go here and read the documentation about route handlers, but basically we can use these methods here, and in our case we are going to use export async function post, since we are sending data from our form to our server. This will be, we are going to need only request, but let's add and response also. If you already used Node.js, you're probably familiar with this. And here we have data, which is equal to await request.body. All right, so let me just console log it here. Data. Sorry, this is not body, but .json. All right. For now, I think this is fine. Let me save it and then go back to our component. And here, what we can do is, let's say const res is equal to await fetch API/comments. And here we need to define the method. Method is post. And what we are sending, well, in body, we are going to apply JSON stringify. Yep. And these fields. But here is a problem. These are comments, but at this moment we currently don't know where to append these comments. So somehow we need here to add some post ID. And where to get it? Well, that's actually pretty simple. This component add comment is used here. Here. All right. So here we have access to our post and post ID. So what can I do? I can add a prop here called post ID, which will be equal to post .id. All right, now let's go here to add comment, and here we are going to add post ID. Let me just define interface, props, and post ID will be string. All right, now, sorry, this is a post and this is a post. All right, now we can use this post ID and send it over here with our form fields. So name, email, and comment will be connected with this post ID and sent together as an object to our server. Let's save it. And here also save. And in our route, we should console log our data. Let me go to browser, to our blog post, and let's test this out. So let's say john@mail.com, and if I try to submit it, it won't work. So hi there. Now let's submit it, and let's see if we have here something. So nothing is happening here. Well, that's because we are here console logging our data and we are not submitting it. So we need first to add this function over here. Okay, and I think this looks fine for now. Let's save it. Let's go back here again and click submit. Now, if we go here to our browser, for now ignore this error, we're going to fix this, but we can see that we sent this data to our server. So John, email, comment, and post ID where we've commented. Cool. Now let's go back to our route. First, I'm going to create a basic. Now we can do it like this. So first, I'm going to destructure this data. So const data, and inside of our data, we're going to receive name, email, comment, and also post ID. All right, so now first we need to check. All right, thank you, Copilot. So yes, if we don't have name, email, comment, or post ID, we don't want to send data to our requests. But here we need to return something else. So next response.json, and this receives an object. So let's say message, all fields are required, and we are going to return a status of 400. Let me just see. Oh yeah, this is object also. Don't need this. Perfect. Now, if we have all data, let's create a try catch block. And inside our try, we're going to create a new comment variable, which will be equal to await client.create. Okay, so what is this? Well, client is imported from our Sanity. So this. Let's go back. And here, what we need to create. Well, let me show you. If we go back to our Sanity, and here in our comment, we are currently unable to edit it. So just for demonstrational purposes, I'm going to go here and remove, so comment out these fields. And now if we go back here and we can try to create a new post, I'll type something here, and we need to connect these comments with the posts. All right, now if you click here, these three dots, and click on inspect, you're going to see basically what we need to create in our API route while we are creating post. So this type comment, then we need to add these fields and this reference to post, basically this ID. So let me go back here so I can comment again this. And okay, so underscore type is equal to comment. Okay, now name will be name from here. So this. So now I can add email and I can send a comment. Okay, next important step is to add this post object. So what we are creating this comment, which has a reference to what? Well, to this post. So underscore type reference and thank you, and this ref is basically our post ID. Great. Below there we are going to return a next response.json, which will have a message, something like this, and we can also set comment, new comment. Okay, and we can also add the status of 201. Great. Then in catch we can catch an error. So basically, so not something went wrong, but let's say it failed to create a comment, and we are going to log this error. All right, I think this is good. So now we can save this. Back to our add comments, to our function. Down below, we can check if response is not okay. Let's just console log it here and return. Now let's save and let's try out this form. I'm going to delete this. Okay, get back to our code here and submit. Okay, let's go back here. Let's reload the page. And nothing is here. And why so? Let's go back and check our console. All right, nothing. Open up this here. Okay, so failed to load resource, responded with status 5, failed to add. So we have an error here. Let's see what is it. So John at mail.com and some. Okay, let's submit. This is fine. All right, so error here says 403. And that is perfectly fine. Why? Well, as you can see, our mutation failed because we have insufficient permissions. So now what we need to do? We need to create a token inside of our Sanity, which will give ability to our application, so Next.js application, to write directly to Sanity CMS. Okay, how to do that? First, go to your CMS and then here, click on Manage Project. Inside, go to Settings and API Settings. So API, and down there, we here need to create a token. So click here and let's say comments. Important part, we need to give a read and write access. So editor. Okay, save it. And this is important part. This token needs to be stored in secure place. So I'm going to copy it, open Visual Studio Code and go to my env local file. So here I'm going to create a new variable called next public sanity token, and I'm going to paste it. All right, now next step, go here to your sanity and then env.ts. So we need to do, I'm going to copy this, and this will be a token which will be imported from token. So this next public sanity token, next public sanity token, perfect. And here I'm going to copy it and paste it over there, just in case of error. All right, now let's save everything and go back to our project, reload the page. Now let's do johnmail.com. Hey, all right, let's try submitting it. All right, I think this is working now. Let's go back here, and here, as you can see, we are getting our comments stored in our Sanity Studio. Perfect. Now, before adding or listing our comments down below, let's do some updates. So let's go to add comments. And here from use form, we can import reset. Reset is a function which we're going to call after comment is submitted, so we can clear out our form. Now here we're going to add one more thing, and that's is submitting, a variable which is set to true when the form is submitting. So we're going to use this down below, and our button, our input submit, it needs to be disabled when the form is submitting. Besides that, we're going to change a bit our styles. So I'm going to cut this and use template string, so I can add a variable here. So when is submitting is true, then I want to set opacity to 50, let's say, and if not, nothing. And of course here we can add a value. So yes, if is submitting, we're going to write this. If it is not submitting that, we're going to have this string. Perfect. Now let's go back here, and down below, just we're going to call this function reset, so it will reset our form fields. Okay, let's go back and test this again. So Mike Portnoy, mike@gmail.com. Hey, this is awesome. Okay, let's press submit. It is submitting and form is submitted, so form is cleared. Let's go back here, and as we can see, Mike Portnoy just commented on our blog post. This is great. All right, so next thing, let's add the component for listing all of our comments down below. Let's go to our components folder and create a new file called allcomments.tsx. Then let's create a component, and this component for now is going to receive a comments prop. So let's go here and define an interface for props. So comments it's not going to be any. It's going to be an array of comments. So let's go here to utils and define the new interface. Let's say comment. Our comment is going to have a name, and that will be a string. Of course, actual comment, which is also a string. Then we are going to need a created at property from Sanity, which is generated automatically when we create the comment. So that is also a string. And let's add an ID, so we can have a unique key when we are looping through them. All right. Let's save this, go back here, and here we're going to have an array of comment. So from interface. Yep, that's it. Now let's assign props here. All right, now we're good to go. Here, let's say an h3, all comments. And here we're going to check if comments.length is equal to 0. Let's say no comments yet. Now, down below, let's loop through our comments. So comments.map. And here we're going to have a basic div. First things first, let's add a key, and that will be equal to comment.id. Let's add some basic stylings. So I want a border bottom, border gray with opacity of 50, and maybe some padding. So basic component. I mean, you can isolate this to separate component, but in my case it's fine like this. So inside we're going to have a p tag, and inside let's add strong with the comment.name, and over here beside name let's add comment.created at. So basically a date when the comment is created, and some text gray and text small. Okay, and down below let's actually display a comment. So comment.comment. Alright, for now I think this is fine. We'll come back later to update a bit this component. So let's go to our page here, and our component will be rendered here. So all comments, and the comments for now it's going to be an empty array. Let's see how this looks like. So here, no comments yet. All right. Now let's actually see how to get comments from Sanity. So here, this is my query for getting post. So now what we're going to do here, right below the tags, comma, so here we can add a custom property like we did here with headings. So let's say comments. And inside comments, what we need? Well, we need first to check for the type that is equal to comment. So we are targeting a type of comment within this post, and post.ref should be equal to ID of this specific post. So how we can do that in Sanity? Well, with this sign. This is basically targeting a parent of the comment. So parent is this post. So let's say dot underscore ID. Now return us what? Well, we need a name from comment, we need a comment, and we need a created at property. All right, let's save this. And now let's see if I have some console log here. Post, let's console log it. All right, great. As you can see, we are getting comments, and this is our first comment, and then second comment, as you can see here from Sanity. These are the comments. Perfect. Let's go back. Let's lower this, and we don't need this console log. I'm going to remove it. So what we can do here, we can say post. All right, let's update our interface here since we did not include them. So comments, if we have them. So this is also an array of comment. So this. Perfect. Let's go back here. So post dot comments. Or if we don't have them, let's just pass an empty array here. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's go back here to our website, to our blog, and check if we have them. All right, we have them. This is great. Now let's just fix this a bit. So I want here, let's do something like this, and this comment should be actually a date. So new date dot to local date string, let's say. So this is fine, this is great actually, but if you want, you can also add a time here. So just to local string. Let's check it now. Great, this is perfect. Let's test this out. So let's say I'm now John P. So John P. gmail.com. Hey, great post. Now let's submit it. All right, our comment is submitted. So as you can see, here it is. Now I need to reload my page and comment will be shown over there. I'm currently have this in my page here. I have a revalidate set to 60 seconds. So every 60 seconds, we're going to fetch the data. So if you add a comment, it won't be displayed immediately again, but you can switch this. You can set it to 10 seconds, 12, 30, whatever you like. All right, this is great. And now one more thing. Let's add ability to sort comments. That's actually not hard at all. So let's go to our code. And here in the comments, since Sanity uses a Grok query language, you can check out their documentation, but basically you can set order by typing this. So order, and then you define what field you want to target. We want to target create that. And here we're going to pass, let's say, you can pass ascending or descending. In my case, I want to pass descending. So I won't save this. Let me first go back here. And as you can see, our latest comment is this one. But currently it is in the middle. So let's go back here and save this. Go back. Sorry for this. Let's remove this. And now you can see that our comment, latest comment, is at the top. We can now go back and set this to ascending. So here you're going to see our latest comment down below. Okay, but now how we can dynamically change this? Well, since we are here at the server component, this page, you can see that this page has access to params, and params is the thing where we get our slug. So this. But in Next.js, in server components, we have another param here in props, which is called search params. And what is search params? Well, basically, let me just console log it here. This is when you have a question mark, and here you can define, let's say, comments. This is a key and the value should be descending, something like this. So this is a search param. So in Next.js we have access to it. You can read in their documentation about this, but first let's go back here since we're using TypeScript, and let's define a type. So this is a search params. This is also from their documentation. So first thing is key, which needs to be a string, and then the value can be a string, array of strings, or undefined. So don't worry, no worries about this. This is also from their documentation, so you can easily find this over there. Now let's go back and save this. Now in my console over here, I'm going down there. Let me just reload the page, but with search params, let's say comments ascending. So let's enter. Let's go back here, and you're going to see that search params is basically an object with the key and value. So what we can do here, well, we can store this in a separate variable called comments order, let's say. And here we want search params dot comments, and if we don't have them, we want to set the default value, and default value should be descending, and that's all. So now we can pass this variable to our post. So let's move this up first instead of this console, and here we are going to pass a comments order. So this is get post function now has access to this. So this will be comments order variable, and this will be a string. All right, so what we can do now here, instead of this, we can actually set it to comments order variable. And let's set the default value here to descending. Now let's see. This is a TypeScript error probably, so yes, we are confident this is a string, so we can say it's something like this. So convert to string. All right, let's save it now. And if I remove this, here by default we're going to have these comments, but now I can type something like comments ascending, and if you go here you will see that comments are now reversed. So this is great. All right, now how to add buttons. Well, let's go back to our page here, and inside of our components, this is also server-side components, so you are aware that we cannot use here use states, but in that case what we can do is actually pretty simple. Let me first check for the length if it is greater than 0. So if we have comments, then we want to render a div, and this div with a class name of margin bottom 2, so we can create a bit space between the comments and the buttons. So here, what we can do? Well, we can create a link from next, and this link will have a href property set to post slug, and here we're going to append comments, which is equal to ascending. All right, and let's say oldest here. We don't have access to this yet. We're going to add it. Just first let's add a class name here. So let's say margin right 4, text small, and here we're going to need also access for comments order. So comments order, it is equal to ascending. So if this is true, then we want text purple 500. Else we don't want to add anything here. So we can do the same for the, I'm going to copy this and paste it down below and change this to descending, and this for the styling purposes also to descending. This is going to be a newest. Here in our props we need to send to receive a slug, which is going to be a string, and comments order, which is going to be also a string. So we can access them over here. So slug and comments order. All right, this looks great. Now let's go back here and we need to make sure to send the slug over there. So slug is going to be equal to post.slug, and if you check type here, slug is actually slug.current. So slug.current, and of course we can pass our variable comments order, which is equal to comments order, and we are certain that this is a string, so let's say convert to string. All right, I think we are now good to go. Let's save this and check out browser. All right, now let's switch to newest. We have a bug here. Let me check, what is it? Oh, so this is not post, this is posts. All right, let's reload the page and click here. As you can see, these are the newest comments, and here sorting is reversed. Now one more thing, as you can see when we click here, our next is basically scrolling our page to the top, so we can disable that behavior very easily. So you can add a scroll set to false, and we can also add it here. Scroll is false. Let's now test everything. Let me just first remove this. All right, by default it's newest. We can click here, and as you can see, everything is reversed now. We can go back and so on. All right, friends, I think we are done. So before deploying this, make sure to go to your Vercel or wherever you hosted this application and update your envs. So head over to your VS Code, scroll down, find env local file, then just copy all this, go to your account, Vercel, environment variables, and make sure to paste this here and save it. Now, when you deploy your application, everything should be working. So that's all, friends. Make sure to follow my YouTube channel, subscribe, and see you in another one.